Welcome to Quill Sword Blogcast. Be customer free! Go ESG! Wake up, corporate America. Letting bankers and bigots manage your marketing is a one-way trip to bankruptcy. Stop blaming the victims. Your loyal customers have been putting up with this asinine marketing for decades. Do you ever see sales go up for Black History Month or Pride anything? Niche sales, sure, but general sales? Probably not. Memorial Day and 4th of July? Market uptick on anything patriotic or that can be slammed on a barbecue grill. Am I right? Your customers have been letting you know for years that they weren't interested. They don't care if you stick up posters in a section or offer a few displays of things they don't want. They're perfectly happy to let those things leave those things for the people who do want them. Your customers are not happy to have that stuff shoved in their faces, let alone to be called ists for not buying your ideological junk. Get a clue, corporate America. But you are now past the point of merely being able to shuffle stock. Your customers will not tolerate anything that endangers their kids. Did you not notice how strict toy standards are? If they won't tolerate the wrong paint on a wagon, why in the world would you think that customers would tolerate sexualization targeted toward children? What were you thinking? Correct me if I'm wrong, but at some point, don't you have to actually sell something to someone in order to make money? Your customers, not your bankers, pay your bills and make your profits. You have a choice to make, corporate America. You can side with your customers and stay in business, or you can side with your ideological bankers and face a long, painful road to bankruptcy. You clearly don't understand your customers. Get your noses out of the polling and focus data and start talking to people who buy your stuff, or used to. Calling people who already think you betrayed them ists or phobes doesn't save your brands. It kills those brands faster. Here's a hint. No one owes you their purchasing power. You have no claim on your customers. They can leave any time they please. That's not economic terrorism. It's consumer preference. Weird thing, but people don't like giving their hard-earned money to corporations that hate them. You're mistaking what the left is doing, actually boycotting, for what your customers are doing, leaving. Gay bars are boycotting Bud Light. You stick Dylan Mulvaney's face on a bunch of cans and those guys will buy Bud Light again. Boycotts have remedies. An apology might have staved off some of the worst of the damage to the Bud Light brand had it come immediately, but now there is no remedy. No one is calling for anyone to boycott. They're all too busy watching the train wreck of Bud Light refusing to even try to rebuild its own brand. That's a divorce, not a separation, guys. Why is Bud Light so obviously suiciding its own brand? Simple. The company has no idea what to do, so it does nothing. Evidently, highly paid Ivy League execs aren't terribly good at actually handling the problems they create. Don't be those guys. Bud's other little problem is its financing. Ivy League education ain't what it used to be. Letting your company become dependent on outside financing to the point that bankers can dictate your marketing strategy is beyond stupid. Of course, some mistakes do require a degree or 3 to make, but seriously, didn't they teach y'all anything about risk management in their fancy schools? It doesn't look like it. Bud isn't an aberration, asked Target. It's a canary in the coal mine. Your customers are fed up with the nonsense. They are voting with their feet. If you won't provide goods and services without ideological enemas, they will find companies that will. You are not too big to fail. This is what Scripture means by pride goeth before the fall. You thought those pieces of paper on the walls and the hefty balance sheets were enough to protect you from those yahoos in between the coasts. You were wrong. Don't like the criticism. Well, now you know how your customers feel. So, do you want to prove me wrong? Prove that you didn't just party your way through Harvard and your daddy didn't get you your job? Or at least prove that you can run that corporation of yours? Okay, here's what you need to do. First, you need to regain your financial security. That means banks cannot provide your working finances. So the first step is to get your financial house in order. Of course it will hurt. The really, really hard part is going to be going through and eliminating all those extraneous executives. Cost cutting by laying off the front end of your business, the people that deal with your customers and get your products to market, is moronic. You lose vital links to customers and the customers at the same time. Nope. Look at the executive suite before you look at Main Street. Whatever you do, get your books balanced. Your banker's leverage is dependent on your mismanagement of your business finances. The instant your corporation doesn't need loans for operating capital is the instant you are back in business serving your customers instead of your bankers. The second thing you need is to regain your legal footing. Banks with their ESG alphabet soup of garbage are blackmailing corporations. Why exactly are you putting up with that? They aren't saving the world. You can't be that dumb. They're just dragging companies down to suit their ideological captors. Stop letting them. Start suing. Put all those high-priced underworked lawyers to work, and quickly. If you don't get those banks out of the driver's seat, you're going to lose. Ask Sears if huge retailers can fail. It isn't a fast process, but it is a sure one, and that process has begun. Bud Light won't be on most grocers' shelves in 5 years. That should scare the daylights out of you, corporate America. See, we know that most boycotts do damage, and that you guys just cook the books to hide it so the public doesn't realize its power. Well, that cat is very much out of the bag. Customers are creatures of habit, that's true, but they are also perfectly capable of changing those habits if you make them want to badly enough. That's part of what your marketing departments do, remember? You're not going to like to be on the receiving end of that, so you might want to do something now.